What's up guys, Devil Gamer here, and Operation Dustline is finally released for Rainbow Six Siege. And once again, I want to thank Ubisoft for sponsoring this video. So the big thing that I'm excited for with Operation Dustline is we finally get Navy SEALs added in. We get an attacker and a defender operator. And on big news, what I finally wanted, I've been asking for so long from Rainbow Six, is finally added in to with this update. One of the operators has something very special that I love on it, but we'll talk about it when we get into it. There's been a ton of other things added in with this Operation Dustline, but we're going to focus mainly on the operators, and we'll follow up with the rest of it in another video. But of course, the two new operators we get are Navy SEALs, and the first one we get is the attacker, BLACKBEARD, who of course is rocking the operator beard. You can't have Navy SEAL without the operator beard, right? He has the best weapons I've seen in an operator so far in Rainbow Six Siege. His first weapon, which I love, as you guys know, is the Mark 17, the 10-inch SCAR H. As you know, I own a SCAR 17, the civilian version of this, which I am also going to make a 10-inch. But anyways, we're going to talk about his loadout. The SCAR H is a badass gun. Heavy hitter, 7.62, just shy of a 600 fire rate. Mobility is pretty good, 20-round mag, so it kind of stinks, but the recoil pattern on it is pretty rough. With the hand grip and the associated muzzle brake, it is pretty hard to get hits on. But at a 52 damage, it definitely is a heavy hitter. But the short, your 20-round mag for 7.62 is pretty rough, so you're going to need to burst fire it. It's definitely hard to use, per se, in a full auto setting at range. Up close, no problem. You're going to take it out. So far, my favorite gun in the game. I love it. The SCAR H is a beast. And of course, it wouldn't be a Navy SEAL without the SR-25. The Navy SEALs have been using the SR-25 for so long. I actually think it's replaced now by the M110 or some other variants. There's other variants out there. The Navy SEALs get to buy whatever the hell they want. They don't get issued shit. They buy whatever they want. But the SR-25 is an iconic marksman rifle that they've used for a very, very long time. Of course, it is also a 7.62. Damage on it 75, which puts it right around where Glass's gun is. But the recoil pattern feels a lot more solid and you can actually, seems like the fire rate is a lot better compared to Glass's rifle. I like it. It's definitely a heavy hitter. When you duke it all out, you can go up close, really get in there and fire and take some stuff out. But it's definitely a very nice, so far my best marksman rifle in the game. I love it. It's an amazing gun. And of course, the Navy SEALs get the Desert Eagle, and of course, I had to put the gold camo on it. All you can really put onto it is the laser sight, of course, because it is a Desert Eagle. No red dots put onto it, which I feel like they missed a golden opportunity because it does have the top rail. Could have put a scope on there, an ACOG, anything else like that, or even make a new short dot that you can put onto it, as a lot of the Desert Eagles actually roll. Damage with it is 60, which puts it right at above where the SCAR H is. Of course, 7-round magazine capacity. The recoil on it is very, very hard to manage. It's very rough to do. It also has a large sight picture due to the iron sight, so it's pretty hard to actually get in there and snipe with it. But it is a heavy hitter, up close and personal, coming around corners, hip firing it, perfect. But if you're trying to aim down sight and use it that way, it's going to be very hard to get on target due to the recoil. Now, BLACKBEARD, his special ability is that he can put on a rifle shield, which is amazing because it covers the top half of his body, so his head's covered by it. But once you put it on, your mobility is cut in half. You become a lot slower. You can use it to kind of peek and get an advantage to absorb a few shots. Now, we'll talk a little bit about it once we get into the gameplay, some pro and cons with it. But so far, it's a pretty cool little surprise feature, as I wouldn't necessarily figure that was something that would be added in, but it's definitely an advantage for him. Now, my favorite operator is VALKYRIE. Of course, the Navy SEAL female defender. She is awesome, and she has the greatest feature in the world, which is the ability to set up her own cameras wherever you want. It's something I've been asking for forever with Rainbow Six Siege. The ability to place cameras wherever I want them to be allows you to really kind of place them in blind spots to kind of get a peek down stairwells where normal cameras are, because everybody's memorized where camera positions are. They shoot them all right at the start of the round, and then you're pretty much defending blind. Not with VALKYRIE. VALKYRIE, you can pretty much just put them wherever you want, long hallways, behind doors, anywhere. They have a nice field of view. Put them wherever you want. It's a defender's dream. I'm so happy they finally added this. Her weapons, though, I'm not too keen on. Now, of course, she has the normal Desert Eagle, as the Navy SEALs get. with Rainbow Six Siege, but she has the MPX. I'm kind of fine with the MPX. I think it's a nice addition to the game. It's one of the logical choices. I would have guessed that they would have added in. 27 damage, that's of course with the suppressor. Let's take the suppressor off and see what it actually does without the suppressor. Let's go ahead and just get that off. 32 damage, so your normal submachine gun damage. I'm not sure if the SEALs actually moved to the MPX. I'm almost 100% positive they did not, because from what I've been hearing through trials through different groups, because I've actually been looking at getting an MPX myself, that it has some issues to it, preferably with jamming and fire rate. So I'm not sure if they actually moved to it, but it is nice to see it in a game. It is a nice looking, sleeker, updated MP5. It's definitely nice. Recoil pattern is also nice. Fire rate almost 1,000 rounds per minute. Very, very fast firing gun. Definitely really cool up close and personal. And you can also burst fire to get those long shots, especially with that nice tight recoil pattern. Now the next one is the shotgun. I like this shotgun just because it's a SPAS 12. It is a heavy hitter. Does 50 damage, 7 capacity, good mobility on it. Up close and personal, the SPAS 12 is amazing. Of course, the SPAS 12 was made famous by Jurassic Park, but they have been used extensively, especially from France, Italy. You can find them in almost a lot of police units use them. It is a very old shotgun. I would have liked to see them go the route of a shorter 870, like a Breacher's 870. The 870 or the Benelli M4, even a short variant of the Benelli M4. But, of course, you know, you got to throw something in different every once in a while. You can't just change up the same guns because we already have an M4 in here. So you might as well throw in the SPAS 12. It is a pretty badass gun, but I'm definitely excited. It is a cool gun. I'm definitely feeling the SPAS 12. I really do like the shotgun. And, of course, with the gadgets, you get a shield and a nitro charge. You should always be using the nitro charge. So let's get some gameplay. It's also been pretty rough getting gameplay because everybody wants to play the new operators. But I got a little bit of footage. We'll talk about some of their pros and cons. So let's talk about Blackbeard, the attacker for the Navy SEALs for the Dustline DLC. Now, of course, both these operators are available now to Season Pass holders. So if you're not a Season Pass holder, definitely get it so you can get your hands on them a little bit early. You don't have to fight too hard over them. Now, as an attacker, he does have the rifle shield. As you can see when I put it on, my sprint kind of died down a little bit. I wasn't as mobile as I once was before. So definitely put it on a little later, especially when you're attacking and you're pushing the area. Don't put it on too early. There's really no need for it. Now, I'm not sure how the rifle shield's going to change much. I did play one round, which I didn't record, where it seemed like an MP5 went right through the front of it. Single shot, no big deal, killed me instantly. I'm not sure how the rifle shield holds up to certain calibers or even damage and when it actually gives out. Of course, it covers the top half of your body, so your head is pretty much covered by this rifle shield. Now, it kind of gives you a little bit of an advantage, I feel like, when you're peeking, but it's really, I mean, the bottom half of your body is still open, so I feel in close quarter, it's not going to be too much of an issue, but at long range, when you're peeking with a rifle like the SR-25, might be a bit of an advantage. The SR-25, of course, is the best marksman rifle. I'm fucking in love with it. It's amazing. Now, the Scar 7, keep doing that. The Scar H, not the civilian model. This is not the civilian model. Also known as the Mark 17. Definitely a badass gun. I like the sound to it. The recoil for it is a little rough at times. Once you kind of get the hand grip on it and the correct muzzle on it, it's a little more controllable in CQB. The one thing I'm not a fan of, per se, with the rifle shield is the glare that you kind of get on it. You get a little bit of a glare. It's not too visible, but at certain areas you can see certain little lines that kind of get annoying, and you kind of focus on them a little more than you should your background. But it's definitely, I'm not sure how the rifle shield's really going to play out for per se. It's definitely a nice addition. I didn't see this coming, to be honest. I didn't see the rifle shield coming. And of course, there you go, Valkyrie's little cameras, which are now all over the place, and you have to constantly look out for. But right now, as you kind of get a peeker's advantage, I feel like the rifle shield might give you just a bit more of an advantage, especially coupled with both of Blackbeard's weapons are 7.62 weapons. It might kind of give you a chance to take a few rounds to the face and then pretty much dish out hate and discontent while you're getting shot. That rifle shield's absorbing all the damage. I'm not sure what the angular rulers are on the side I don't know what those really are. I don't see kind of what use those are. I've never seen, I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen anything like this or even heard of anything like this in real life. So this is kind of brand new to me. In real life, I would never use anything like this whatsoever. If I was back in the Marines, they issued this to me, I would have thrown it in the garbage. Just because it would get caught and snagged or anything, and CQB is fluid. You need your momentum. You don't need things to hang up on stuff, and this seems like it would just be a nightmare trying to fucking get through doors and stuff. But definitely, I feel like this is where it's gonna shine. These little shoot holes. Make a little shoot hole, use the shield to kind of block it out, and just kind of shoot away, and just kind of do your thing. Of course, you're still gonna get shot in the lower half, but even shields, safe shields. You know how when you get behind a shield, mobile cover, the lower half of your body's covered, but the top half is still open. I believe the rifle shield actually covers the entire top half of your body. So it'll definitely kind of give you, it'll be kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It will definitely let you live through a mistake a little bit more than you usually would with this game. You peek the wrong corner and you're dead, but with this, you peek the right corner and you might just be okay. You might not die right away. So I'm definitely, I want to get more time with the rifle shield, kind of give a final judgment, because right now I can't really give a final judgment. I like the idea, I like the premise, and I feel like it might play out pretty well with it, but it seems too early for me to actually be able to kind of give it a judgment. But it definitely seems like it's going to be amazingly useful. But as an attacker, Blackbeard's bread and butter is definitely his 7.62 weapon set. I mean, the SR25 and the Scar H are such heavy hitters that you could really just take out people left and right with them. And I'm loving his weapon setup. I think it's amazing. I mean, the SR25, you pretty much get one hit and it's game over with some of these guys, especially the lightly armored defenders. It's definitely a very awesome marksman rifle. I mean, it doesn't take much to kill. It's very controllable, very fast firing, and I feel like it's more of my preferred weapon for Blackbeard. While the Scar H has a lot harder recoil, the SR25 definitely kind of keeps you on target, but spreads that heavy damage of the 7.62 around, and definitely drops stuff a lot harder than the Mark 17 or the Scar H. But again, you know, it's personal preference. A lot of people are going to figure out the recoil patterns to the Mark 17 compared to the SR25. But if you're more somebody who's not good at controlling recoil, I would definitely say the SR25 is going to be your go-to gun for sure. It's a heavy hitter and it's such a badass gun. I love the SR25. Little known fact, Nice Armament Company, the guys who make this, literally are 30 miles from my house. Like, the company that makes this gun, literally 30 miles from my house. I really like it. I really am a fan of the SR25. Too bad it doesn't, you know, too bad it's a very expensive rifle. Because I would love to go with the Blackbeard loadout in real life. But anyways, yeah, the rifle shield I feel like is going to be a good addition just for peeking holes, peeking corners real quick. You know, letting you peek, take a hit or two to the shield, and be like, all right, there's a guy around that corner. Let me kind of reevaluate my stance instead of where it is now when you peek the corner and you just get murdered. So it seems like a very forgiving setup. It definitely does. I mean, as you can see here, it definitely took a few shots to my face and lived through it a little bit. Of course, the Desert Eagle, being such a crazy recoil beast it is, didn't exactly go as well as I thought with it. The Desert Eagle is probably the hardest weapon to use with these operators. It's very heavy recoil. Don't have to go hit fire only on it. But again, the big Achilles heel of the rifle shield is that you kind of show your legs. It only covers the top half of your body. So if you want to peek out and get guys like this, we're going to peek out just a little bit more. It ain't doing much to help you whatsoever. Valkyrie is definitely the hidden gem of this DLC. Placeable cameras is something I've wanted for a while in Rainbow Six Siege, pretty much since release. A lot of you guys can attest to that I've been asking for them constantly. Because as a defender, updating your team to where the location of enemies are, where they're breaching at, what side they're peeking on, where they're peeking, when they're peeking is super important. Where Valkyrie's abilities are going to shine is definitely when playing with a team of friends. Randoms, the communication is always an issue with random teams. It's just casually playing. But when you're with your team of guys and you can actually communicate with, being able to update them quickly and efficiently with cameras placed on points you know that are choke points that they're going to get stuck in is definitely something that's super important. And one of the things I like from it is that it actually shows the white cameras and the blue cameras. The white cameras being the already in place cameras that are all around the map. But of course those are pretty useless because the enemy already takes them out, and once they take them out you're pretty much blind at that point. And the blue cameras, of course, the ones that you can place, which is, you know, what you're going to spend most of your time looking through. And Valkyrie's not really going to be much of a shooter defender as much as I'm going to be looking through cameras the entire time, updating my team. That's how I see Valkyrie getting played, is staring at cameras majority of the time, and if all your cameras get taken out, then you go on the offensive. Because a few times I've tried to take her on the offensive, it hasn't gone too well. You know, she's pretty rough to use, especially when the shotgun at range isn't really that great. Neither is the Desert Eagle, but the MPX is definitely nice, but she is very lightly armored, and where she shines is through those cameras. Now you can pretty much set them up anywhere, and the field of view on them is definitely extremely awesome. So I'm pretty excited to get in with my team of guys and start playing with Valkyrie and figuring out, you know, more positions to throw the cameras to kind of catch these guys off guard that they can't see, and update them and see how our play style actually changes with this new addition to placeable cameras. Her MPX is definitely pretty badass. I do like the MPX. The shotgun's really good at close range, but I feel like it doesn't have the range compared to some of the other shotguns that you see. But again, you can place these cameras pretty much anywhere, and the fact that you get 4 of them is a nice thing, because I feel like 2 would have been cutting it too short, but 4 is the perfect number, because anything more than that, it's just a ridiculous amount of cameras. There's nothing really much more to her, really. It's just you're going to spend time staring through cameras. I mean, you can place traps, set up nitro charges, let other people know who have traps set up if the trap's going to get hit or not. I mean, just the whole fact of her is these cameras. You are going to be looking through the cameras. And if you're not staring through these cameras constantly, updating your team, then you're kind of playing her wrong. Because I feel like that's where her whole thing is going to be, is looking through these cameras. She's definitely my favorite defender so far. But of course, you know, they are pretty bright blue, so the enemy team can definitely pick them out pretty good. So you're going to have to be creative where you put them. Definitely in places that they're actually pretty hard to see. You know, like right here at the top of the stairs, definitely a good, useful spot. But again, she's mainly going to be played staring at cameras, and, you know, I feel like that's how she should be played. But anyways, guys, if you want to see more of the game, check out the link in the description below. Definitely awesome update. Cheers to Ubisoft. This has been a very good update. I'm really looking forward to getting back into some Rainbow Six Siege with these new operators, testing them out to their fullest ability. I also have some ammo annotations down below if you guys want to check them out. And again, thank you for stopping by, checking out the video. You guys want to see more, let me know in the comments below. Talk to you guys later. Peace.